To lose one major Hollywood streaming deal is bad enough, but for two to go, well, there's no return.
Insiders say the Sussex dream is circling the drain. Whispers around Hollywood are getting louder. No more million-dollar doc deals, no more streaming fantasies, no more phone calls return from the executive suites of Netflix, and the evidence just keeps adding up. The power couple who once styled themselves as America's answer to William and Kate just got ghosted by the world's biggest streamer. And word is, Meghan's not folding. She's plotting, she's spinning, but behind that glossy peach and cream contour, the panic is palpable.
Remember when Meghan was the dazzling Duchess plucked straight from a Hallmark Christmas movie? Suit star turned princess, slipping into Givenchy like Cinderella with a Wi-Fi password. Harry, the rebel royal with a Hollywood soulmate. Oprah, A-list deals, a baby announcement in a chicken coop. It was all tiaras, tea, and Technicolor dreams. But fairy tales don't usually come with Spotify cancellations and Paramount Plus begging. Somewhere between Santa Barbara and the Valley, the carriage turned into an Uber Black and the crown got pawned for PR retainers. Behind the beachy glam of Montecito and the carefully curated Archetypes brand, the tension was simmering. Late payments to staff, mood swings, creative differences, Meghan allegedly going full Miranda Priestley with anyone who dared challenge her vision. Harry? Rumor has it he's in perpetual retreat mode, shuttling between therapy sessions and polo practice while trying to pitch documentaries about himself. Because when in doubt, go full main character syndrome. Netflix sources even hinted that Meghan prioritized her as-ever lifestyle brand over, well, producing anything anyone wanted to watch. And Ted Sarandos? Allegedly mildly infuriated, which in corporate speak means ready to cut bait.
Which is that she is a toxic money loser and an albatross whose personality is so off-putting that she has throttled their financial ambitions as well as her own due to her universal unlikability.
Let's talk numbers, because the numbers do not lie. Spotify pulled the plug. Archetypes became Archie-what before Season 2 even got out of development purgatory. That 20 million podcast deal died faster than you can say interns made the episodes. And now, Netflix, gone, poof. Heart of Invictus flopped harder than Harry's memoir tour. Live to Lead? More like Live to Leave. And don't even get me started on the Polo documentary, a passion project no one asked for and almost no one watched. The Sussexes were once Ratunsta Kingseltown. Now, they can't even get invited to a Soho House brunch without buying the whole brunch. The brand was built on royal proximity, glitz, and grievance. But when the glitz fades and the grievance gets boring, no one's re-upping that subscription.
Getting markled has become slang, synonymous on social media as a term for a personal brand tarnished or hurt by associating with the former senior working royal.
So what does Meghan do when the castle starts crumbling? She goes shopping for new power players. Insiders say she's quietly courting Paramount Plus, a move so hilariously on the nose it might as well be a TikTok parody. A downgrade from Netflix to maybe we'll air your doc between SpongeBob reruns? Brutal. She's allegedly still clinging to those Hollywood friendships, buttering up Bella Bajaria with fruit baskets and brand pitches. But let's be honest, the only thing she's selling now is desperation wrapped in oat milk ambition. Meanwhile, Harry, he's out of his depth and out of options. Insiders claim he started reconnecting with UK contacts, not for a royal return, no, that's Fantasyland, but maybe a lifeline. Because in this chessboard of fame and fallout, Meghan's making moves, and Harry's barely a pawn. Let's call it what it is, a reputation implosion. The memes are vicious, the clips are viral, Family Guy just roasted them again. South Park, The Late Show, even royal loyalists on TikTok, they're all cashing in on the Sussexes' decline. Meghan got marled is now an actual term. Let that sink in. It's slang for ruining your brand by getting too close to Meghan Markle. Even Stephen Colbert is getting dragged down by proximity. Karma, anyone? And those celeb friends? Radio silent. Oprah? Gone. Beyonce? Ghosted. Serena? Staying low. It's not loyalty, it's damage control. Because in Hollywood, the only thing worse than bad press is being a punchline. Let's crunch some cold, brutal numbers. Montecito mortgages don't pay themselves. Neither do 100K security teams, private jets, or those mysteriously never-in-stock jars of as-ever jam. And with Netflix gone, Spotify sunk, and zero actual revenue from Archwell, the coffers are looking more peasant than palace. They've built a life that costs Buckingham budgets with a BuzzFeed influencer income. And the real kicker? Meghan may have to start monetizing the one thing she swore she'd protect, the kids. Insiders are already whispering about future family-centric content, and Harry, reportedly horrified but powerless, because when the money dries up, everything's on the table. Here's where it gets cinematic, folks. She's not folding anymore. She's about to play her hand. Multiple sources suggest Meghan is pivoting hard. Less Duchess, more boss babe. And Harry? Sources close to him say he's disillusioned, isolated, and quietly exploring his options. Because this isn't just a rough patch. This is the fall of an empire they built on sand. He thought he was marrying a partner. Turns out he married a brand, and the brand is bankrupt. So grab your popcorn, darlings, because in this saga, failure isn't the ending. It's just the setup for the reinvention. And Meghan Markle? Well, she always finds a way to star in her own comeback story, even if there's no one left watching.
A sun-soaked kitchen in Montecito. A woman arranges flowers, stirs honey into herbal tea, and speaks gently to a jar of beeswax candles. This is With Love, Meghan, a lifestyle show that promised warmth and authenticity. But instead, it opened a new chapter of public criticism. Today, we explore how Meghan Markle's latest venture may be her most revealing and possibly her most damaging since leaving royal life behind. When With Love, Meghan premiered on Netflix in March 2025, the concept sounded simple: a feel-good series where Meghan shares recipes, crafts, and home rituals. Set in a lavish $8 million Montecito estate, the show offered carefully curated moments, lavender-scented towels, rainbow-coloured fruit platters, and herb baskets picked fresh from the garden. But for many, the show felt anything but authentic. Instead of inviting connection, it drew criticism for its overly manicured tone and rigid perfectionism. Meghan's insistence on being called Sussex rather than Markle struck some as overly controlling. Her interactions with celebrity guests, often stiff, rehearsed, and visibly curated, made the show feel more like a branding exercise than a warm domestic series. Critics pointed out that even the estate featured in the show wasn't her actual home. What was meant to be a celebration of simple joys ended up feeling like a stage, one where every move was carefully orchestrated and the audience left outside the velvet rope. The response was swift. Major British outlets, including The Guardian, Forbes, and The Telegraph, labelled the show tone-deaf, vacuous, and joyless. Online, the backlash exploded across TikTok and Reddit, with parody clips mocking the overly stylized content and Meghan's soft-voiced narration. Even more damaging were the deeper critiques. Media analyst Leslie Gray Streeter argued that the intense pushback wasn't just about editing or aesthetics. It revealed societal discomfort with Meghan as a wealthy black woman living a soft life. For some, her calm domestic world clashed too deeply with their expectations of humility or restraint. Meanwhile, royal biographer Angela Levin accused the show of borrowing heavily from earlier lifestyle formats, including comparisons to a 2000 show by Pamela Anderson, and called Meghan's presentation disingenuous. She even noted that Meghan has admitted not enjoying actual cooking, but prefers arranging. Through it all, the show seemed to lack humour, vulnerability, or genuine engagement. Critics felt it was less about living well and more about being seen living well. And in the world of streaming content, image alone rarely sustains a loyal audience. Since stepping back from royal duties in 2020, Meghan and Prince Harry have pursued independence through high-profile media deals. The couple signed a reported $100 million agreement with Netflix in 2020 and launched multiple projects, from documentaries to podcasts. But the results have been mixed. Their Spotify deal was quietly dropped in 2023. And now, despite With Love, Meghan being renewed for a second season, inside sources say Netflix executives are re-evaluating the show's direction due to poor audience retention and damaging press. While Meghan continues to build her brand around authenticity, wellness, and empowerment, the growing disconnect between her presentation and public perception may be undermining that strategy. The image of a hands-on mother making rainbow crudity clashes with doubts about scripted scenes and borrowed homes. It's not just about content. It's about credibility, and that's where Meghan's greatest challenge may now lie. With Love, Meghan set out to redefine Meghan Markle's public narrative, but instead of warmth, it sparked a cold wave of criticism, behind the floral centerpieces and folded linens lies a deeper story, one of image, expectation, and disconnect. As season 2 looms uncertain, the question remains: can Meghan reclaim the audience's trust, or has her lifestyle empire already cracked at the foundation?